Typically, the words safety and home are closely intertwined. The I-80 merger on the Bay Bridge, the sketchy one-way streets of Haight-Ashbury, or having to roll up your windows when driving through the Tenderloin are not typically considered safe. In fact, 1.19 million people die every year in what I consider home. And yet, on my 16th birthday, after walking out of my 8 a.m. licensing appointment, the streets of San Francisco were my first destination. As a kid, my harshest memories, my greatest defeats in life or in Monopoly, my biggest injuries, and my worst nightmares were all followed by a driver on the block. If the issue was more severe, maybe we'd spin around Little Albany, and if something was life-changing, we'd make it into Oakland, or across the Berkeley Hills to Walnut Creek, or like I mentioned, across the bridge to San Francisco. My mom was the driver of these outings. Our 2004 Honda Pilot, the Vessel, and my blankie and water bottle, the Comfort. My mom, a licensed psychologist, a calm, controlled, and methodical thinker, would often climb into the car, yelling or crying or fuming silently. This was our space, and anything would fly. Nora Jones would be on the radio, echoing our complaints of love, life, and liberty, and every window would be down, making our hair as crazy as our words. So at 16, the same music was playing as I departed into the city with my temporary license and false confidence, because although this was my first time with a license, it was also my first time driving legally. Almost 8 months prior, I was staying in Las Vegas with my dad for a soccer tournament. Our team had just lost a critical match. I had fouled a girl on a breakaway to prevent a goal, which had worked out, but had cost me a second yellow card and an ejection from the game. I was writhing, refusing to shower, to move, to eat, exhausted from 3 days of constant play and less than 25 hours of sleep in total. My dad was watching TV behind me, refusing to attend to my hissy fit, when I stood up and declared that I was walking to the mall to get lunch. Instead, I grabbed the rental keys off the chest of drawers and took the elevator down to the parking lot. My mom wasn't there, my Honda Pilot was at home, and my blankie and water bottle were thrown out years before. What I did have, however, were the coping skills my mother had instilled in me, enough driving lessons from my brothers to understand the rules of the road, and enough anger to cloud my critical thinking abilities. So, at 15, I drove our rental convertible BMW out of Las Vegas and into Red Rock Canyon Conservation Area. I drove the 13-mile loop through the red Aztec sandstone cliffs, stopping at the highest points, taking pictures and declining my father's phone calls. I drove back home, stopping to get a sandwich as proof of lunch. I walked inside, slyly put the keys down on the counter, apologized to my father for the late return. I had window shopped around the entire mall. Offered my dad the other half of my sandwich, which he graciously accepted, and climbed into the shower. Sorry. For me, home isn't a defined location. It wasn't the house I grew up in or the people within it. In some ways, it was my mom, or Nora Jones, or the crazies of the Tenderloin, but it's also Red Rock Canyon. It's Mariposa Avenue, which has the prettiest oak trees in Berkeley, and it's the driveway where I rear-ended into my brother's bedroom window. It's the hours and hours and hours spent in my driver's seat, or sleeping in the back seat, or sprawled out across all the seats. It's the I-580, it's Frontage Road, it's Grizzly Peak, it's Sonoma Avenue, where I grew up. My home is now Daphne, my 2024 Mini Cooper, and it was once my 2004 Honda Pilot, and once a rental convertible BMW. Home for me isn't a defined location, but the mental headspace that driving creates for me and has created for me my whole life. This search for home might make me steal a car and drive off into the mountains, or venture off into San Francisco, or maybe just drive around the block. Nowadays it's me driving my mom around. But not because I'm searching for something, not because I'm looking for something, but because I know the lengths I must go to find that feeling of home, wherever I may be. Thank you.